Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be something a little different. In this video is not going to be a what if. Instead we're going to be talking about a specific character, and that's going to be one I like a lot, and that's going to be Gohan. Now for those that watched my tier list video, you know I have very high opinion of Gohan, specifically Teen Gohan from the Cell Saga. The character to me just has so much potential, and they didn't really fulfill it in my eyes, so I'm going to be talking about in this video how they could have done that. This video is going to be split up into three main parts. One talking about the character, another talking about like scenarios, and another just basically talking about everything at the end. Now if you want me to do this about any specific characters, like basically anime, cartoon, regular show or whatever, like doesn't matter, you can just let me know if you want to, and I'll probably end up doing one of these in the future anyways. Now the introduction is out of the way, let's get into the video. Now the question is, where exactly do you start to fix Gohan and make him a better character? And that's after the Cell Saga, of course. It was after the Cell Saga when he literally stopped doing what his father entrusted him to do and just became like a regular human, which wasn't what needed to happen for him. Now you can still keep the human aspect of it, that's fine, but he is literally the strongest being on Earth at this point, so there's no reason that he should stop training and stop doing what his father wanted him to do. This leads us into the first part. How could his character have been different? Given that he didn't stop training, he balanced it with his school life, Chi-Chi was convinced to make that happen, Goten and everything still happened the same, but Gohan is a lot stronger going into the Buu arc and everything because he trained during all those years. This probably would not only affected Gohan, but Vegeta as well, and Vegeta would have seen Gohan as either a close friend or his replacement rival for Goku. This of course means that we may get Majin Vegeta, but Majin Vegeta isn't likely to happen with Gohan still being strong and training and all that. Not only would Gohan be stronger, but Goten would probably see a jump in his power as well due to training with his brother. Gohan's personality doesn't necessarily need to change. Everything can still happen the same, but Gohan as a character would fundamentally be more focused on protecting everyone than he would have being a regular person. Now once he would start going to high school, you really wouldn't see much of a change there, because Videl and all that would probably still happen the same way, because he would still have somewhat of the same mindset when he would come to the Great Saiyan Man and all that. The Saiyans being stronger would have maybe helped to motivate the humans to keep training harder so they can keep up with their friends and help when the threat arrives on Earth. So knowing that Gohan as a character isn't changed that much doesn't really affect the story, but also brings into question, could Gohan from this point on be the main character? And that's not what this video is about, but I think if you were to watch this as a progression of his character in the show, you would probably agree that yes, he could have been the main character with this change. Now let's move on to the second part here with some scenarios and see how the changes in the characters would have affected the story. Mainly we're going to be covering the Buu saga and how that would have been affected, but we will cover a tiny bit of Super, specifically the beginning and how Gohan would have changed. Well, when you had a happy reunion when Goku came back, it certainly would have been a lot more happy considering Goku probably could have sensed Gohan's ki this entire time. It would have known exactly how strong he would have been. Goku definitely would have been proud of his son for keeping up his training and being ready to defend the Earth if necessary. There are a couple scenarios here which are much more relevant, including Videl being much stronger than in our timeline. It's because along with her training with Gohan, she would also be a gifted warrior herself, so it wouldn't be unrealistic to imagine that she would have gained much more power in this situation. So while Videl wouldn't have been hurt as bad, Gohan still would have gotten in that rage boost, which when he fought Kibito, would have probably been enough later on down the road to awaken Buu straight up. Even if the story was the same as in our timeline, you wouldn't have as much of the extra stuff with like Majin Vegeta and stuff like that, because the story wouldn't have been that. The story would have been catered around Gohan and Vegeta being the strongest on Earth. So whether Buu is awakened at the earlier time point or this regular point in the show, you wouldn't have the same story no matter what because of how changed the characters are. So moving on, I want to see how much different this Gohan would be than the regular Gohan we get in the show in the Buu saga and going into Super. The first change would be that this Gohan would be far closer to getting to Beast than our Gohan would have been during the beginning of Super. Now I'm not saying he changed that much from a character perspective. All I'm saying is that this Gohan would be more focused on fighting than the regular Gohan would have been, but he still would have had his job and his kid and his family life as usual. Though I do want to change Videl a little bit and make her a bit closer to the Z Fighters in relevance and power level than she was. The first major change in Super would have been the resurrection of Frieza, which we saw, as in the show, Gohan was weak and couldn't even damage Frieza, but this time around, Gohan may have the potential to defeat Frieza alone by himself. But we are talking of Frieza's on the level of Super Saiyan Blue, so I don't think Gohan would have done enough damage to beat Frieza, but he definitely would have made the job easy for Goku and Vegeta. I'm going to wrap it up here because I don't know how many more changes I can make to Gohan that would affect the story in a meaningful way. That's just my take on Gohan and how I could have changed him to make a more meaningful character out of him instead of what they did in the show, which wasn't really that great. Now this video is an attempt on branching out from me, as I'm not doing just Dragon Ball What If content, as I want to cover more series, as I've said in the past. Now I do appreciate the support, like and subscribe if you want, and with that being said, I am out.